All right, so in our finishing touches, we want to add audio. So we're going to add an audio manager and an audio source. Put the audio source here on our game manager, and it'll be a 2D sound. I don't think we need anything as a 3D sound since we're sort of in a static scene and it's a mobile game. So we will first, if we look in our audio folder, I have some things that we're going to use here, and if I put this up here, we can. So this will be music that we use. It sort of puts us gives us some Jeopardy tension, and then we'll pitch it up and make it more and more tense. So I'm going to add this I'm just going to add this directly to our audio clip and have that play on awake and loop. And then for all the rest of our audio, we can, we can use an audio manager. So I will go into scripts here. I'm going to create a new script. I'll call it audio manager. And then in this audio manager, I'm going to attach it to our game manager. Just keep that all together. And then double click this, reload everything. And so in our audio manager, we want to refer to our audio source. So we can do audio source, and then we'll need to have some public clips, audio clips here. So on start, we're going to just initialize that our audio source that we're talking about is the one that's attached to this, the game object that this script is attached to. So we get audio source, and that's fine. And then I don't think we'll be needing update. But there's a few, so sound effects that we are concerned with is when she's angry. Basically, we can check the animator for the old lady and give her sound. So when she's angry, we want to give her a sound. When she's happy, she gets a sound. And then we can, to make things more intense, we can pitch the music up, pitch all the audio up, and it'll go quicker and quicker as the time scale speeds up. So we'll do that too. So for our script, we will have some functions that we can call. One which will be happy, and what we'll do is we'll play from our audio source. We'll play one shot, and then we should specify audio clips up here. So audio clip, happy, angry. Let's start with those for now. Oops, angry. So play happy. And then basically the same situation for whenever she's angry. We can have her play the angry audio clip. We make these public so we can put them in the inspector, and we'll just drag and drop those. I'm going to move this. Oops. What happened? Move up because I prefer it right there instead. Something is is it not? Oh, my save shortcut. No, it's working. There it is. Okay. So we'll drop our happy clip, which is old lady happy, into clip, and then old lady angry. So now we have some functions for happy and angry, and in our game manager we can tell our audio manager to do some functions. So we can maybe right after our animator we can say audio manager, and then we can refer to our audio manager and tell it to do some stuff. So after our old lady anim, we can do audio manager, and we can get the component that's attached to this, the game object that this script is attached to, called the audio manager. And now when we've cleared an objective and we're doing all the speed up stuff, and we're doing the animations, where's speed up? Okay, so as soon as we trigger happy, we can also trigger the audio manager to play the happy sound. So audio manager happy. We're also doing a speed up, so we can tell the audio manager so let's do that in our audio manager. We can do a pitch up here, so we can do public pitch up, probably by some sort of float amount, pitch amount. So this is a public void. And so we can get our audio source and just grab the pitch, and we can add to it some amount. So we can add our pitch amount to the pitch, and when we do that up here, we do pitch up, we can feed in some sort of float, for which I ended up going with, I think, 0.1. Is that what I went with? Yeah. So even though we're changing the speed by a quarter, we're just changing the pitch by a tenth because it's very noticeable, and it'll get really, we don't need to pitch it up all that high to notice it. Next so we can test out those. Oh, we should call angry whenever we fail. So as when the old lady is angry, then we can say audio manager stop the music, or not stop music. Oh, we do need one where we stop music. So we can set trigger not old lady. Sorry, angry. I'm out of it. Getting through it. It's too late over here. I need to go to bed. All right. When we failed, so there's actually a few things that we forgot to add here. So when we failed, if we fail and it's not a timer fail, then we probably don't want to see the timer decreasing. So we can pause timer. Set that to true. Want the old lady to be angry. and then we want to show the game over after a couple seconds. And you'll notice. Okay, so let's try this out, and then let's do a lose. So she's just angry. So I'm gonna give her the wrong. We still have the audio playing in the background, the tense audio. So we would probably want to stop that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create function stop audio, I think. You can call it. We're only really doing this with music, so maybe we could just do stop music. And we just say audio source stop it. So before, we don't want to stop it after she's like, we'd stop the audio source before she does her angry thing, and then let her do her angry thing. So the angry thing happens in the quiet. So we can do audio manager dot stop. Nope, that's not what I want. Audio manager dot stop music. Okay, and then maybe we can just group these together. Now we can test out this game over. Yeah, so that quiet sort of makes it more intense there. What other audio? That might be it for our. Oh, did we test our happy? So we need to win like 4 times. Sorry. Okay, so that's working how we want it to. We get a sound from her. It's a happy sound, and then it speeds up the music. You hear a little bit of a change. So the other thing we want to do. Right, so we need to also handle audio when our victory animation is playing, and we're going to do this in a little bit of a different way. We are going to we're gonna find our little modular objects, and we're gonna do a different audio handler on these. So we'll find whatever the animation object is that's going to be sent over to Telly, and we'll add a component, an audio source for one. We will play on Awake, and one thing is that sometimes you might want to have like different sounds. Like for this volume 1, I have a couple different guitar sounds. So we'll have to create a script with a animation or audio handler for that. So let's go back into our scripts folder. We'll create a new script, and we'll say animation audio handler. Double click that to open it up. this, we will have, oops, I didn't want to delete all of it. We'll have a public audio clip, and we'll just call them sounds, whatever that list is, so we can reference that in the inspector. And we have an audio source. Do the audio source again. And then, so what's going to happen is, since we're disabling and enabling it whenever we need the animation, just like our animation loop, what we can do is on awake, because this is different than start, this is happening before even the object is enabled. We can set our audio source is the audio source that's attached to this game object. And then when we enable it, we can actually call on enable. This is just like some of our other. We can also, let's see, so if we want to play a random audio from our clip of sounds, or our array of sounds, we can do our handy find the random number by finding random.range from 0 to sounds.length. And audio source, play one shot, play that sound. One thing to think about is, in our other audio manager, we've been updating the pitch with the time scale. With this one, we can also update the pitch by actually we can get that from our game manager. So if I have a game object, game manager, actually we can say audio manager, and then we'll get the audio manager from our game manager on awake. So we'll say game object find, I might have to move this to start, game manager dot get component. Actually, we can make this audio manager. Great. Get the audio manager. Or we get the audio source attached to, that's probably easier. Okay, so we can get the audio source. So instead of audio manager, we'll call this game manager audio. I don't know what I'm doing here. So this is going to be audio source game audio source game manager audio, and with game manager audio, it's going to equal this audio source, and then we'll find game manager audio dot pitch, And we'll set our pitch audio source dot pitch equals our pitch whenever we enable it. Cool. So one thing to note is that we necessarily we have these animation objects enabled at the very start. So you might hear a sound on the very first enable, like right when you start it all up. Well, we might hear a whole bunch of different sounds. So we'll have to fix that by checking if we've done the first enable yet. So if it is the first enable, like when the first when the game starts up for the level starts up, scene starts up for the first time, we'll set that default to true, and then we'll check on enable if it's the first enable. All I want to do is set first enable to false. Otherwise, we can do all of this stuff. And make sure we have both of our brackets there. Alright, so now we can test out some victory sounds and fill out our arrays of random sounds. So volume animation, we're going to attach the animation audio script. We can continue. We just want to do 2 sounds, and in that audio we have guitar 1 and guitar 2. I'm going to apply this to our prefab. And then in the soap animation, we already have an audio source here. Oh, I see. Okay. So as long as it's attached to one of these objects, so this actually was moved from the other project, so I can either have it. Can have it in either one of these, I think. So slider, number pad, soap animation, volume animation. I guess I'll just add it here. So we add an audio source, play on awake, and depending if we want it to loop or not, we can select loop. But then I'll also add a component, animation audio handler. And I have 3 different sort of TV organ sounds that I can add here. So I'm going to add those 3, and it'll get a random one from there. And now we can sort of test some of these. 28. 81. It is pretty loud. Okay, so it's playing a random audio clip from our animation handler whenever it's enabled. So that's how we've handled it. And basically now that we have audio, we can do some touch-ups here and there. Maybe see even this background from this game over panel is bugging me a little bit. I want to have it darker, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to have it how I like it. But I want to see the grain a little bit. Okay. That's kind of a sweet spot. Anyways, small thing, preference thing. Basically with that, then I think we've got pretty much a good setup to keep making new modular game objects. Are driven from our modular controller class, and we can make a fun game that has random little mini games, and it's kind of silly and have a score based system, and it's a good portfolio piece. So I hope you guys have fun with it. All right.